Welcome to If They Won't Listen's episode 11. We have some updates for you, folks. Dante is moving on with the next step of his life. So he is going to be a guest from here on out occasionally, as will many other people, but it's down to a two-host show. And don't worry, we're not going to bother you with politics because everyone is. So the first thing we're going to talk about is that there's a video of a moose. A Morse, yeah, right. I went to school with a kid, and that was his last name. Fucking caught me off guard. There's a moose playing soccer. I saw a video last night, like on a football field at the 50-yard line, kicking a soccer ball. Well, I mean, he was hitting it with his head, but absolutely.
Well, so do soccer players.
Um, I don't know if you could see any animal on a football field playing a sport, what would it be?
A penguin. Actually, I want to see an all penguin soccer game. I think that would be absolutely hilarious.
That would be pretty intense. I bet penguins could play with a ball and water. You get a bunch of penguins with the feathers and a bunch of non-feathery penguins and have them verse each other.
Yeah, that would be
I think that would do it. But
yeah.
there's a lot of animal news this week. I mean, outside of politics. Now, I doubt many other people are, looking up animal news, but I find animals exhilarating. Um, there is a train, okay, stuck on a whale's tail. Before I tell you the details, I want you to elaborate to me how that's possible. How could a train be on a whale's tail?
Um, huh. No, I got nothing.
A Dutch metro rail gets caught on a whale tail sculpture and avoids disaster. Um,
Sculpture.
yes,
Well, that's different.
it would have been no fun if I said sculpture. If 50 engineers and people alike engineers were trying to figure out what had caused the train to end up on the actual the thing. Now we
Well, here I
can't
was thinking they built the tracks way too close to the ocean for starters.
we can't play the video, but I can show the picture real quick. Boom, share. So that's the train, and it's
Oh,
sure.
um,
Yeah, absolutely great. But
that was either talent or stupidity.
they say it avoided disaster by going up there. So I don't know if the inertia that it shrugged off by going so vertical, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Okay, but how does one make a train jump the tracks?
I don't know. And so my next question would be: is this whale tail sculpture at the angle that the train could ride up, parallel to the tracks? Because I feel like the engineer could have predicted that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like trains don't come off the tracks. No worries. The one time it did, it rode the whale.
Yeah. Whale tail caught it. It was fine.
That's why we put that there. Jeez. And yet again, can't show the video because we'll get YouTube to think we're denying the Holocaust. But I can I can show the starting screen here of it. Yeah. Whoa. Wrong screen. Ah.
Yeah.
Good thing audio people can't see me messing up which screen I share. It's always good. Right here. Bang. So like you said, can't really watch the video because we'll get popped and removed from YouTube. But awesome. Moose in a field. There's a dude. Like the moose is playing with the ball and there's a dude. You know? Like
Okay, so were they playing together? Or is
no. The moose is running around kicking it with all of its own feet. I mean, I'm sure anyone listening could just Google moose playing soccer and they will find it. But rather interesting. I mean, The fact, I mean, I wouldn't expect a moose to be scared, technically. They're a pretty big animal, but just cool. Whoa.
That's not the only one. There's another one right here. Moose plays soccer with teenagers in Homer, Alaska.
Yeah, that's the video I was just saying. I hope no. Did you hear that noise?
What noise?
That's the best response you could have had. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the world. Like, so we're not going to talk about politics. We can talk about crazy stuff people who like or hate politics do. And there's a Florida man who stole a bulldozer, and ran down Biden signs. He was my age.
he, he
Absolutely.
was mad about the election. I don't understand why. I'd have been more mad if Trump won again, but we're not talking politics.
Hmm. In Haines City. Uh, where's that? Is that Florida? Haines City, Florida. Ran down, and judging by the picture, they're just laid down. He didn't even pull them out of the ground. But hilarious. Like, what if you went to jail for that? Would you in here for essay? Oh, I drove a bulldozer over some plastic laminated Biden signs. Made me feel good, and now I've got 5 years for trespassing, damage.
Somebody recently told me that's actually a felony.
Or you know,
Political signs, if you run them down, deface them, destroy them, pull them up, it's a felony. Don't know why. Seems absolutely retarded to me. But that's like the extreme end of being politically correct.
so I was reading about this thing last night. Scientists are like kind of trying to reverse engineer um, a beetle shell to build buildings better. I think that's very intriguing. It's the diabolical ironclad beetle, and he can withstand bird pecks, animal stomps, and even being rolled over by a Toyota Camry.
Huh. So we're going to reverse engineer a beetle and
I think calling it that's a little too much, but at the same time, that's literally what they're doing. With, when they were dissecting them, they were like, it doesn't break. Like everything is meticulous. Like the reason it doesn't get hurt is because when it pushes down the shell, it's like an egg from the top and the bottom.
yep.
Perfect, but side to side, instant gone. Um, so it's like an Achilles heel. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure it wouldn't do good in a microwave or in fire, but sure,
No, probably not. They react to being cooked the same way everybody else does.
unfortunately. Um,
Whereas that might be a delicacy in some areas. I don't know where's their native habitat.
so in lieu of our last guest being from Algeria, I had been doing some research on other things in other parts of the world that are going on. And one of the interesting things I learned from Tristan Harris, he has his own podcast, and he's a frequent guest on Joe Rogan. Interesting guy. He was talking about the way that the internet works in America compared to other countries. Now, I kind of know how it works in the internet. Not that I've elaborated into it, but nonetheless, our Facebook seems to prioritize contentious behavior and fighting. So, like, if you and I have a post and we disagree and fight, what has more likes and more comments goes to the top. And so, like, to some degree, yeah, the only reason I know that that's slighted towards keeping us on the platform longer is because if you hate somebody, you say something. If you like somebody, you usually don't. And it's like that's the shitty part of publicity. Is the bad side of it is way more dragging. It pulls you into it. So, it
Any publicity is good publicity.
yeah, exactly. And I usually say there's no such thing as bad, but exact two sides of the same coin there. And I don't want to misquote the country he's talking about, but I swear to God, you Google Tristan Harris, Joe Rogan, and listen to the clip, you'll you know what I mean. I didn't make the research; I just listened to it. And so, in another country in the world, the internet is opposite. The algorithm that Facebook the same algorithm that contentious fighting gets pushed in America. In another country, they've stopped that with their own resources for understanding, and they've changed it and made it illegal for that fighting behavior to happen. Not illegal, so to say, but it nonetheless doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. So whether it's not allowed or it's not there. And so what gets put to the top of their posts is like things and shared things like us. But the thing that goes above and beyond that is if you and me disagree and then agree. Like you say A and I say B, but then we both I respect your opinion. The algorithm puts that at the top.
What the
So
fuck?
that makes sense though. Like if Facebook in America did that, we wouldn't be fighting over politics. You would be finding the post where I said to you, I like blue or red, and you like blue or red, or you like independent.
Yeah, but you see, here's the problem with all of that. You're kind of taking away people's right and ability, really, to have a different opinion than someone else. I mean, how much is built on that? I mean, a baseball game or a football game, you have opposing teams. No, they're not fighting, but they're going against each other. Debate, debate teams, um, politics. That's what it's built on. And for you to tell people, for any country to tell you're bordering on communism. So it's like, no, you're not allowed to have your own opinion. You can't ever have a different opinion than somebody else because somebody might get butthurt.
Well, you're allowed to have your opinions in both here and where I was talking about. I can't specify where I'm talking about, but I can specify for here. But the main difference to that is like if you and me are fighting, Facebook in America likes it more. But if you and me are arguing to agree to disagree, their country likes it more. And I kind of like their country's idea better because, like, we can both still say our ideas. But if you and me say, F you, I hate you, you're terrible, what, yada, yada, that doesn't become post number one. It doesn't because they don't want to spread you two idiots yelling back and forth like that, like America
Okay,
does.
well, that I understand. If you're talking about something that violent and stupid and
And that's
immature, yes, absolutely.
that's the algorithm's sole purpose is in America. If you right now make a post saying I love Trump and someone who's a Biden supporter comments on it and says F you, you're an idiot, that gets put to the top of our Facebook. But if I turn my VPN to the nation or the country rather that Tristan Harris was referring to, it's not different. If I post on your thing when you say I love Trump and I say, well, I love Biden, I respect your opinion, wink, wink. Now that's at the top. And so it's like, okay, so we have two baskets, each with separate weight. One rewards people having different opinions and being bombastic about it. And one rewards people and having different opinions, but acting like a fucking adult. And so it's like, well, America's not really concerned about enforcing that. I agree with that. But this goes all
Well,
to,
yeah, no, otherwise we wouldn't have reality TV.
yeah, I love reality.
And again, in that context, yeah, I understand that makes complete and total sense. But I don't know, it just seems.
No, I agree. It's crazy. Changing the note. Boom, boom. What shows you been watching lately?
When we've been watching anything, Arrow and Flash, trying to catch up.
Still haven't gotten into either of those.
I love them. Started watching them a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had to start over, but got that. Those two, Legends of Tomorrow, and I watch Supergirl. She doesn't like Supergirl. I don't think I like Supergirl. I just like the show and the
Yeah,
rest of the
yeah.
characters.
You like her thighs.
Yeah, Supergirl or Sakara is just a spoiled little brat. Honestly, I mean, to a point, I get it. You're basically a god on this planet, and you come from a totally different place where, all right, where people aren't allowed to have differing opinions, and where everybody is, and you're basically royalty there. No, 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 no. She's just spoiled brat. That's the only way to put it. And when you give a spoiled brat that kind of power, I just don't like her. But I like the show, whatever, and it ties into the other two or three, depending. Right now we're trying to catch up to everything so we can watch Elseworlds, which is a three-parter. It starts in Flash, and then goes to Arrow, and then goes to Supergirl.
No
I
shit.
think.
So they
And
all
then
died on one show eventually.
yeah, yeah, and they've done it before. There was Crisis on Earth X. I think it was. It tied all four shows together. They crossed over, but the Arrow, Flash, and Legends are actually in one universe, and Supergirl is actually not from the same Earth that they are. She's from a parallel universe, a different Earth. They don't have Supergirl where they all reside, but it's still DC Comics, and they still collide somehow every now and then through breaches and whatever else.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I'm sure those shows are good. They're all such high budget. The only thing I've watched that ever has had a tie-in feature like that was the Agents of Shield. They had a bunch of shows
Yes.
where you had like Falcon and Black Widow and people that obviously weren't going to be there 7 days a week to record the show, but could actually pop in and fit a timeline. And I'd seen Agents of Shield before I had seen any of Marvel, like the Avengers movies. So by the time I had went to Avengers, Agents of Shield, I knew so many characters. I was like, oh, that's that guy. You know what I mean? I don't think Falcon ever had a movie, right? He's just from Shield, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He was in one of the Avengers, I think. I don't know. It's been so long since I've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I know they kind of coincide. It's kind of like the same thing there as with the Arrowverse. They've also got Luke Cage, Iron Fist,
Mm-hmm.
or no, I'm getting them mixed up. It's too early in the morning. It's Power Man and Iron Fist. Yeah, okay. So Luke Cage is Power Man, and so it's Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and Punisher.
Mm.
And they all kind of intersect in different places and ways. And
Yeah, I've been watching a shitload of anime. Like I think my new favorite anime is called That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. His show, bro. He's a god among gods, but he's a slime. Like it's just
um,
humble and cute, and he wants nothing to be a nice, person. Like, and he's cool. He builds like this creature village in the middle of the forest and unites monsters. He's like the Martin Luther King of monsters. Like brought everyone together. Don't read into that.
I think that might be a bad analogy, but I
I,
guess I get your point.
I'm sure. But if you took a lot of things out of context I've said, I'm a terrible person.
I take everything you say out of context just to fuck with you.
Well, there we go. But no, dude, the world is in such a crazy place right now. COVID is exploding. Like I got tested, so for the first time I got a COVID test. I didn't get the deep nose one, I got
They
just
swab your brain.
swab up to here, on both sides. But it's a 15-minute test, and without insurance, it costs $300. So that's chill, you know. And I had to get the test to go back to work. So, and having doesn't mean I don't have it. The good test that takes 30 minutes, fastest, can test anywhere above 120 parts. And I'm gonna say per million, but it's not. The doctor, I believe, said per milliliter of probably like the spit and whatever inside you or of the virus. But I'm gonna say I'll just say per milliliter like he did. But so the 30-minute test is accurate above 120 parts of the virus per milliliter. And if you're at 115, your test comes back negative. So you basically have 95%. You have COVID. You literally have COVID, but the test can't tell you do. And then if you get the rapid only tests like 160 or 170 above. It's one of those. And so if you get the rapid and you're at 145, parts per milliliter or million, whatever it is. A milliliter doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. I'm not a doctor. And so it's like, that's crazy to me. So the doctor literally looked me in the eyes and was like, just so you know, you have a negative on the rapid, but you could be 1 point below what the rapid tests for and have COVID. And if we went and paid for the other test, you could be 1 point below that and still have COVID. And he said, in the past 2 days, I've tested so many people positive for COVID in the very spot you sit. If you're feeling sick, go home. Stay home. Don't be around people. And it's like, I still get half my fucking Facebook page freaking out about, oh, Biden's going to keep you in your house. It's like anyone who's saying anyone's going to keep you in your house, members yet. Because like, I don't want the economy to fail. I don't want to not have a job. I don't want businesses to close. All of that is fucking terrible. But
Yeah.
I've already lost 2 family members. You know what I mean? 2. And if me going to work is going to take someone else's, like I'm uncomfortable in the mask and I'm not a fan of it. But if it tells me to wear it, I wear it. And so it's such a weird thing. But it's even crazier to think, where are we going to be in a year or 2 or 5 or 10? 5 years from now, we're going to look back and go, like, oh, you remember the Great Depression? That was a time period. Oh, do you remember this? That was a time period. Remember this? That was a time period. Like,
The year of COVID.
yeah, is it the year or is it the life? Like in 20 years, if we're still wearing masks and fighting COVID, this is going to be one hell of a place. Like everything in the world is going to be quarantined. And
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I've said it more than once, but I am so over COVID. It's just gotten out of hand and ridiculous. This whole year has just been crap all the way around.
no, it's something ridiculous. I don't have the answer either. Like I'm a herd immunity type of guy, and I know that scientists have said herd immunity doesn't work with this because it would kill just so many fucking people. That to say that, oh yeah, we're past this, but 30% of our population is dead, all the old and all the immunocompromised.
All the ones that naturally would have died by now anyway because of what they have.
Although in my cynical characters, I agree with you. It makes me think about like you and your old lady and me and my old lady. I mean, granted, we're younger than you guys, but like, if I were to replace the random person dying from COVID with someone I love, I immediately have a fucking problem with it. And so it's like, in that aspect, it's like, all right, I hate the fucking masks. I hate the fucking quarantine. I hate, all the ways it makes my life more difficult. But personally, it hasn't made my life. I thought it was making my life more difficult politically, but it really wasn't. Like it's worse because everyone is politicizing the virus, and it's like the virus does not need to be profited off or used to like do
Oh,
anything.
immediately people started profiting from it.
Mm-hmm. And what, you're gonna be wrong if you could fast forward time a year, you wouldn't get on the mask train. You'd buy thread and a needle, and you'd be like, motherfucker, I'm gonna have the coolest anime mask ready for February. Like, some people got on it. There's a lot of people on like Etsy who blew up selling hand sanitizer and homemade TP and stuff like that. And it's like, good for them, but
TP.
there's so many people like Chicago, Boston, New York, some of our biggest cities.
There was when all this started. There's a car dealership on Route 7 headed north out here. Um, they actually had a sign out front advertising free roll of TP with a car purchase.
Oh my god, that's pretty funny. I hate my smile, and I just smiled huge, so I'm just bringing this up. I I got a dentist appointment to get like one of my furthest back molars pulled because it came in all cockeyed like Pinocchio, fucking got curb stomped, and you almost did a spit take. But so I'm like, yeah, I
I'll put this down.
I'm like, I only have Monday and Tuesday off. And they're like, okay. And they're like, your doctor's not in Monday. Frankly, I don't care who my doctor is, but okay, let's pretend it's a doctor's like a shoe and she's the only one who fits me. Cool. We'll do it Tuesday. We'll see you in February. I'm like, oh, okay. I literally, like, when I said goodbye, I was like, see you next year. It was like such a weird, like in fucking October.
Yeah, that's
It's whatever. I'm not in pain of any kind. and the teeth. My tooth is it's not uncomfortable. It's just irritating. Like whatever. I feel like he sucked. Lil Wayne did it right. The whole diamond in the mouth thing. I tell you, I get rich enough. You can call. I'll deal with a copycat. I don't even care. Like I don't want to deal with teeth, man. But I want to be able to chew. And like, what's harder than a diamond? What's so structurally sound that it doesn't depreciate? It appreciates in time. Diamonds. They're the only thing you can buy and put in your shitty sheetrock circle that we are square that we all own. That if the place burns down, you can pick up and it's still worth the same. The only fucking thing. Diamonds are heat proof, cold proof, ice proof, smash proof. I mean, you can use a diamond as a fucking touchscreen stylus on glass.
You know how many people would be lining up to take you out just to get your teeth?
No one's doing that to Lil Wayne. So, he has some really good rap lines about it too. Like, I can't think of any at the moment right now. God, no, he's just, you know what I mean? He's like, even when I'm poor, he's got a mouthful of diamonds. And he's not poor, but God. I just hope that as a musician myself, after I get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 albums out, I still want to keep doing it. Like right now, having done nothing, it's like, oh my God, the world's my oyster. But 3 albums in, with every person in my small town knowing who I am, I might just be ready to take a deep nap. Like, leave me the fuck alone. I want to go buy a Snickers bar. I don't want to talk to you. My AirPods are in. Do you see this? I'm going to have a shirt that says AirPods are in.
No, that's not how it's going to go down. How it's going to have to go down is you're going to have to go out of town. And then you're going to have to start sending people to get your shit if you blow up and everybody knows who you are. Maybe some little hick town somewhere where all they've got is a little general store. You're going to pop in there and kid behind the register might recognize you. And if he does, it's going to be one person.
Yeah. I'm not
50.
gonna lie to you. I've talked to my old lady about this, and I've talked to a bunch of people about it. And as I had aforementioned, the world is my oyster. I a large part of me wants to do this whole music gig as like a masked artist because my anonymity is pretty important to me. Like most people would be like, I want to be famous, please. I'm aware of what fame does to people. Anyone who has it does not necessarily want to give it to friends. Like it's not a woo, I have this. Fame didn't give them money. Fame gave them more abilities to make money. But in no way did fame give them money. Anyone who's raw talent is skillful. Like your raw talent is your skill. And whether you be a rapper or a country artist or an engineer or, you know what I mean, a hobo with a plastic cup, like you do you consistently. And I don't know, musicians are too consistently upset. Like I'm a musician because I'm upset, but I don't want to go out like Prince or Juice World, you know? That doesn't sound good. And I don't really want to, like, can you imagine what it's like for Eminem? You know what I mean? That dude can't go anywhere in the world.
Yeah, no.
In Czechoslovakia, but like quite literally, he is such an influential musician. He's just, it doesn't matter whether you love, like, or hate him, you know him. Oh, I got congested there at the last second. It's just crazy, and you can't take it back. That's the real thing. It's like this podcast. I'm not worried about, having a podcast because this is like I want to network. I want to meet people. Like I said, I want to start now, and I'm going to looking on YouTube for cool ass people. You know what I mean? Who we can get on the show. Big difference between posting on Reddit,
Right.
and consistency, man. That's it. It's just I don't care if people hate this show. If we're consistent and we come out every week and we do our best, I'm happy. And we have all the software and stuff, and I think we got this. But moving on to the next topic. Do you have anything interesting on your mind, or do you want to?
No, I got a whole lot of nothing on my mind lately.
So there's a British wildlife park who had parrots who were cursing.
That's entertaining. All right, are we talking about, because it's Britain, so are we talking about British curses or just,
Oh, I don't even know what curses. I didn't.
Well,
Okay,
I guess bloody is like
they call him a fat tart.
a fat tart. Yeah, that would be kind of the equivalent of us calling somebody a fat slut.
It says the more
And bloody is their version of fucking. Like it's bloody awful. Well, it's fucking awful, dude.
it says that they that visitors were laughing when the birds were swearing, so it was reinforcing them to swear more.
Well, duh. It's like a kid does it. You laugh at them. They're going to do it again. No, I got somebody to laugh to me.
So they removed 5 cursing parrots from public view, so that way those 5 parrots don't teach the 200 birds, 200 plus birds they have there, the swears.
Oh, come on. Where's the fun in that?
Absolutely insane, but also
That's awesome.
it is awesome. Yeah, no, this world is absolutely insane. Like I spent like half of last night on Reddit, and I was just scrolling, and dude, all like August, September, and October in succession were each different riots in different cities. Like some overlapped, but like there's some that you know what I mean. I've never seen this. You're older than me, but like every time I know we've talked about COVID a few times in this podcast, you know what I mean, to say the least. But it's like, how long is this going to be a thing? You know?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen over and over and over again. Somebody's going to get a hair across their ass about something, if only for the purpose of shifting focus, whether it be from them or from COVID or from something else to something else that they can go, oh, look at this. This is a cause. Blah. It's going to happen. History repeats itself.
Yeah, usually. But let's just hope that we have a better track on it this time. You know what I mean? I guess that's all we can hope for. And for anyone who made it this far in the episode, next week and for further weeks, we're gonna be doing some updating the stuff. Get a new logo and hopefully get a little entrance theme song here, maybe an outro. I'm kind of sold on just saying goodbye to you, but an intro song and a logo would be nice. So make us look all professional.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I love the podcast community, man. This like every time I go online to try to find a new guest or try to get anything done, it everyone's like just asking questions. How can I do this better? And how can I do this better? And you just stop in, type 2 sentences, and out. And they're wicked appreciative. I've spent hundreds of hours figuring this stuff out. Tried 4 different ways to figure out which way I like the best, and it's a really nice community. Like. I think it's hilarious, and I think the growth is ridiculous. Like, first of all, I believe these numbers to be true. I'm only saying I might botch them because who I heard them from I didn't verify, but I was told only 1 billion people have the internet. There's 9 or 7. We'll call it 8. Fuck it. 8 billion people on the planet, and 1/8 of them have the internet.
Well, they probably don't have much internet in the jungles, deep jungles of Africa or Siberia or.
Yeah, but I mean, I think any place with electricity can ordain Wi-Fi. Like it's satellite based now.
Well, yeah. So I don't know.
That's just when I heard that I was like, really? What do you mean? 1/8 of the whole world? Like what? What do you mean? So 7/8 of the whole world believes what they're told without verifying? How? How do they do that?
I don't know. Same way we did it before the internet.
And out of the billion, starting this year, and at some point this year, there was 750,000 podcasts like
Hmm.
out and running. Like, so there's not even a million podcasts, and there's a billion people on the internet. And like these are consumables, which is the cool thing. It doesn't matter whether someone wants to listen to this episode or listen to the next episode. It's just the fact that they can when they want to. Like iTunes and Podbean and YouTube are backlogging all of these forever. So, you know what I mean? 10 years from now, it's going to be as seamless as it is now, you know? And the further the flow, the bigger we get, all the platforms are going to make money off us. That's how we make money off them. So it's mutually beneficial. Like, that's why I'm really nervous about this whole sharing videos and getting, to anyone who doesn't know, we shared a Reddit video of, people. Well, actually, no one knows. we shared a Reddit video on the end of our episode once, and it was like a 15-minute segment of like showing a bunch of Reddit pages, and the was uploaded to Google. To YouTube. It got removed, and so I had to clip 15 minutes of the video out of it. You can still find the audio on Podbean and iTunes, but so I need to learn how to do the video correctly. That's why this time I just tried doing pictures, no sound. I think that I didn't break any copyright with no sound. At least that's what I think. But then again, I think an ad played for like 2 seconds at one point, so I just hope that doesn't kick me in the mouth. So, uh, yeah, no, I'm stoked, man. It's a new day. We're down a co-host, and so we got to plan the future, guy. But I think that was a good show for the week. We did actually have guests for today, and I they had a few problems why they couldn't get on the show. They didn't have a mic or a webcam, so I bought them both, and it didn't work on their laptop, which was the correct software for what the mic and the camera needed, and it just didn't work. So now I'm gonna loan them a mic, a camera, and a laptop to get them on the show. And so that's why we kind of did a little jumping off headlines and talking about BS tonight because no show guests. So, and we also had a host decide that he's moving on to bigger and better things. So I hope that this was entertaining for anyone who listened. Do you have anything to say for an outro?
No, I am good.
Cool. Thank you for listening and have a good week, folks.